Before smartphones, before the internet, even before electricity lit our cities, there was a man with a vision to replace the flame with light, a vision to bring sound to life and turn shadows into motion pictures. This is not just the story of an inventor. It is the story of Thomas Alva Edison, a school dropout, a restless thinker, and a man who believed failure was the key to greatness. But behind the glowing bulbs was a darker story, one of obsession, rivalry, and relentless ambition. Thomas Edison was born on February 11th, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. He was the seventh and youngest child in a modest family. From the very beginning, Thomas was different. As a child, he barely spoke. Some believed he was slow, even disabled. But young Edison wasn't broken. He was busy thinking. At school, his teachers found him unfocused. After just 3 months, his mother, Nancy Edison, pulled him out. She believed in him. She homeschooled him, filled the house with books, and gave him the freedom to learn at his own pace. Thomas once said, "My mother was the making of me." By age 10, he was reading scientific textbooks and performing chemistry experiments in the basement. By 12, he had a small lab set up inside a train. To support his experiments, Thomas sold candy and newspapers on the Grand Trunk Railway. He was just a boy, but his curiosity knew no bounds. Inside one of the train cars, he built a laboratory with chemicals, batteries, and glassware. One day, a bump on the tracks caused a fire. The conductor stormed in and threw his lab equipment out the window. Edison was devastated, but he didn't stop. Shortly after, he saved a station agent's son from being hit by a runaway train. In gratitude, the agent taught Edison how to operate the telegraph. This single act changed his life. He became a telegraph operator, a job that allowed him to travel, tinker, and invent. In his early 20s, Edison had an idea, an electric vote recorder. It could help Congress record votes instantly. He patented it. But when he presented it, the politicians rejected it. They didn't want fast voting. They wanted time to debate and delay. That day, Edison learned something vital. Invention without demand is useless. From then on, every invention he worked on had one purpose: real-world usefulness. He moved to Newark, New Jersey, and began developing improved versions of the telegraph. These were sold to big companies, and he began earning money. But Edison wanted more than money. He wanted a space to invent without limits. So he built Menlo Park. In 1876, Edison opened the world's first industrial research laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. It wasn't just a lab, it was a factory for ideas. Edison hired machinists, chemists, and draftsmen. They worked long hours, often through the night. Edison was tireless. He slept in cat naps and worked 18-hour days. He famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." In just a year, he changed the world. In 1877, Edison invented something no one had ever seen before or heard: the phonograph. It could record sound and play it back. Edison spoke into a mouthpiece, turned a crank, and the machine repeated his words. "Mary had a little lamb." People were amazed. It was called a miracle. Edison was now a household name, the Wizard of Menlo Park. But while others celebrated, Edison was already working on his next challenge: to bring light to the darkness. In the 1870s, gas lamps lit homes and streets. They were expensive, dangerous, and dim. Electric lights existed, but they burned out quickly. Edison wanted to create a safe, long-lasting, affordable electric light bulb. He and his team tested thousands of filaments: carbon, bamboo, platinum, and more. They worked day and night. Finally, in 1879, they found the solution: a carbonized bamboo filament inside a vacuum. It burned, not for minutes, but for over 1,200 hours. Edison didn't invent the idea of the bulb, but he made it practical for the masses. Soon he wired an entire street in New York. When he flipped the switch, homes lit up. Silently, safely. It was the birth of the electric age. In 1882, Edison launched the world's first electric utility company, the Edison Illuminating Company. His first power station on Pearl Street in Manhattan powered 85 customers and over 400 lamps. He built everything: generators, wiring systems, fuses, sockets, even the business model. And from this work, the future giant General Electric was born. But Edison wasn't the only player in the electric game. A storm was coming, a war between two types of current, and his greatest rival was a man named Nikola Tesla. Edison's electric system used direct current, or DC, but DC couldn't travel far. It needed power stations every mile or two. Tesla, a brilliant inventor from Serbia, proposed alternating current, AC. AC could travel long distances and was more efficient. Edison saw it as a threat. He launched a public smear campaign. He told people AC was deadly. He funded animal electrocutions to prove it. He even helped develop the electric chair to show AC's danger. It was a dirty war. But in 1893 at the Chicago World's Fair, Tesla and Westinghouse lit up the entire fair using AC. Then came Niagara Falls, where Tesla built the world's first major hydroelectric plant. AC won. Edison lost. Edison continued to invent, but never again at the scale of his early years. He created early motion picture cameras, helped develop alkaline batteries, and explored cement manufacturing and mining. He had over 1,000 patents to his name. He made fortunes, lost some, and made them again. He became a national hero. He was friends with Henry Ford, who considered Edison his greatest inspiration. In his final years, Edison suffered from poor health and partial deafness, a condition he had since childhood. He died on October 18, 1931, at the age of 84. To honor him, cities across America turned off their lights for 1 minute. Thomas Edison didn't just invent light. He invented the way we develop and deliver innovation. From light bulbs to phonographs, from labs to power grids, his fingerprints are everywhere. He wasn't perfect. He made enemies. He made mistakes. But more than anything, he made progress. If you were inspired by this story of light, ambition, and invention, hit like, share with a curious friend, and subscribe for more powerful biographies. This is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of your curiosity. See you in the next one. If you want to listen to more stories like this, please like, comment, and subscribe.